unawareness, for someone not to be paying attention, to come back to this, to even bring back even more misery. So we, the internals and the externals, are chained to be who we are, because we do not challenge the tags or labels assigned to us as a result of established disorders. So this goes back to the idea of how just because you are a superpower doesn't mean that you are going to pretend otherwise by not fixing the slavery of previous systems. But this is a monumental task, because the mechanism will actually tell us that there's actually no problem at all. So the mechanism wants to delude us into thinking that this is just normal, that we should keep exploiting immigrants because they have terrible lives in their towns, when really the mechanism is the one behind making their towns miserable. And our parasitism is actually continuing that same thinking. So because we do not challenge religions, we do not challenge the things are the way things are, then we are become also a byproduct of the same labels. So in my book, Established Religions, the Problem and Not the Solution, we will take a look at what are the factors that favor the mechanism, the disorder, the misery, or negative programming, the prison of code that makes us have a very limited way of operating in our daily lives. So those factors, what are those factors that will help you decipher whether a religion is an oppressor dressed as the savior? And those factors are obedience. If a religion teaches you to be obedient, then you're dealing with a sick religion. If it asks you to submit, for example, if it asks you to lay on the ground as if you were some kind of animal, then you are dealing with a world that will ask you also to submit. If it favors repetitiveness in the way of repetition of sermons and praying, you are dealing with a sick religion. If it promotes mindlessness, such as one case would be Buddhism, when taken to an extreme, it becomes parasitism because you're not active. If you meditate for 3 years, then what kind of life would that be as opposed to an active life where you're actually doing and battling the demons? We're not here to just so an order world will ask from its participants to take action. And some demonic networks, they are not going to auto-destroy. Someone needs to set the order, and because established religions have told us that everything's normal, then people become parasites of their own sickness. So what other factors will help you decipher whether a religion favors the oppressor? and that is the idea that God's or creator or a God forgives everything. That's not entirely true of all the religions, of the 5 major religions we discussed in this book. But most of them share the idea that God forgives everything. And especially, I heard if you live for 6 days and on the 7th you are forgiven for everything that you did on those 6 days, then that creates a sick society. So if a religion teaches you that God forgives everything, then you are dealing with a sick religion. The idea that God fixes everything, that is also a byproduct of a sick religion. If it teaches you the act of praying for change rather than being the change, that is a very petty a religion that will be a byproduct of a very sick individual. Because change takes an active force, and we know that our enemy, the mechanism, is waiting for us to become inactive. It's waiting for us to let our guard down. So if your religion makes a religion a show in which you are just a viewer and not a participant, then your religion is a sick religion. Because intelligence is not something that you can hold on your hand. It's like water. It's a current, and that current only comes, using that current only comes from a active participation. It doesn't come from holding on to that current. So yeah, in order for us not to become imprisoned in sets of code or religions, there needs to be a participation from all of its people. If your religion says that it is the only truth, then you are dealing with a sick religion, because there's no individual truth. If your religion has to win over other religions, and if a person that does not follow your religion is your enemy, then you are dealing with a sick religion. And in this book we have explored we have looked at evidence on how